This is ASU Television News. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Hardisi Shuraju, the headlines. Court gives Nnamdi Kanu until November 5th to defend charges or forfeit rights. Federal government appeals to resident doctors to end strike. Says 60% of arrears cleared. National Orientation Agency dismisses claims of Christian genocide in Nigeria. And National Youth Service Corps restates zero tolerance for data manipulation in mobilization of graduates for national service. And now the news in detail. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has given the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, until November 5th to defend the alleged terrorism charges against him or waive his right to do so. Justice Omotosho said this after Kanu failed for the fourth day to enter his defense after the prosecution closed its case and the court overruled his no-case submission. Justice Omotosho said should Kanu fail to open his defense on November 5th, he would be deemed to have waived his right to do so. The court had on October 27 adjourned till November 4th for Kanu to either file his final written address or open his defense. At the day's proceedings, Kanu, who is conducting his case by himself, said he has not filed any final written address as ordered by the court, but filed a motion and a supporting affidavit. Kanu said he would not enter any defense because he was convinced that there is no valid charge known to any extant law that is pending against him. He threatened not to return to detention and demanded that he should be set free and allowed to go home immediately because, according to him, there is no valid charge in respect of which he should be further subjected to trial. Responding, prosecuting lawyer Adegboyega Awomolo faulted the competence of the fresh court documents filed by Kanu, arguing that they were not properly filed. Awomolo urged the court to desist from further indulging the defendant, who he claimed was only interested in wasting the court's time. He urged the court to deem the documents recently filed by Kanu as his final written address, order parties to adopt the final addresses, and adjourn for judgment in his ruling. Justice Omotosho said the documents recently filed by Kanu were in order and would be considered at the time of judgment. The judge said, having taken judicial notice, the defendant is not a lawyer. He should be given the opportunity to consult a lawyer and get necessary support. Justice Omotosho proceeded to adjourn till November 5th for the defendant to either enter his defense or he be deemed to have waived his right to do so. Around health matters, the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Salako, has appealed to the striking resident doctors to suspend the strike, stating that the federal government has met most of their demands. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the minister said the federal government has cleared about 60% of the backlog of arrears owed to health workers. However, the president of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman, emphasized the need for further dialogue to holistically address all outstanding issues. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has stated that its nationwide total comprehensive and indefinite strike, which began on Saturday, will continue until the federal government fully meets its demands. NAD listed several unresolved demands, including unpaid arrears, allowances and entitlements, such as the 25-35% Congress review, promotion arrears, upgrade arrears, and accruement allowances, some of which have been pending for over 5 years. The association described these demands as the minimum necessary to sustain the nation's healthcare system and uphold the dignity of medical practice. Hours after NAD announced its indefinite strike, the federal government stated that it would release 11.9 billion naira within 72 hours to settle part of the salary and allowance arrears owed to medical professionals across the country. Now, Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mr. Larry Isa Onilu, has dismissed claims of a Christian genocide in Nigeria, stating that he was certain the United States had committed another error in their intelligence gathering. The DG made the statement in response to Nigeria's redesignation as a country of particular concern by the United States government, a move that came after US President Donald Trump publicly accused Nigerian authorities of turning a blind eye to the killing of Christians. Malam Isa Onilu, speaking during the monthly joint security press briefing held at the NOA headquarters in Abuja on Monday, said the allegations were false and unfair to Nigeria, arguing that even the US was aware that there was no systematic persecution of Christians in the country. The NOA boss further stated that the recent shake-up among Nigeria's security chiefs demonstrated that the country was working seriously to strengthen its internal security and address communal and religious violence. He disclosed that the National Security Advisor and the newly appointed service chiefs were expected to brief the media later on Monday afternoon from the office of the National Security Advisor, where they would provide an adequate response to the allegations of genocide. The federal government has consistently maintained that it is committed to protecting all citizens regardless of faith, citing recent counter-terrorism operations and community peace-building initiatives as evidence of its efforts. Now moving to the National Assembly, where the Senate has resolved to establish an ad hoc committee to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the persistent derailments of the country's rail lines. The probe, which will include a public hearing, aims to uncover the root causes of recurring derailments and assess the condition of rail infrastructure, as well as the imported materials used in the sector. According to the resolution, the ad hoc committee, to be chaired by Senator Adams Oshomole, will also investigate loans received from China. The committee has 6 weeks to complete its findings and present a detailed report to the Senate. Additionally, lawyers have directed the Nigerian Railway Corporation to immediately address the technical faults responsible for recent derailments and ensure that the nation's rail system is restored to full operational capacity. The Senate's decision follows a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by Senator Edo Dafimoni concerning the recent derailment of the Ojevu-Itagbele rail line and calling for urgent investigation, rehabilitation, and enhanced safety measures to protect passengers and national infrastructure. The recent Warri-Itagbele line train derailment in the Agbo area of Delta State happened 4 days after the resumption of train service was announced. According to the Nigerian Railway Corporation, the derailment, which occurred at about 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night, might have been caused by vandals. It also said 2 out of the 7 coaches of the Warri-Itagbele train service were involved. The NRC, in a statement signed by its Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer Kayode Opifa, however, said no casualties were recorded. Now, the chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Jibrin Giri, has commissioned a new transformer and high-tension poles at Giri Wenyu site, marking yet another milestone in the ongoing development of the area. Correspondent Abdullah Mukra completes the report.
Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the chairman, Alhaji Abubakar Jibrin Giri, urged residents to partner with the government in safeguarding and maintaining the new infrastructure. He emphasized that community cooperation remains vital for sustainable growth and lasting progress. In a heartwarming moment, Alhaji Abubakar Jibrin Giri interacted with primary school pupils who came out in excitement to welcome him. He thanked them for their warm reception and encouraged them to remain focused on their education, describing them as the future leaders of both the community and the nation. The chairman further stressed the importance of education, urging the pupils to study hard and take full advantage of every learning opportunity available to them. On his part, the project contractor, Honorable Haruna, expressed appreciation to the chairman for his continuous support and collaboration.